that doesn't have weekend bus service. If you look at other jurisdictions like Washington, D.C., Montgomery County, Arlington County, Fairfax County, they have weekend bus service as well as weekday bus service. Perhaps start by targeting the 5 high priority metro stations in our county to run weekend bus service. And if that is successful, then expand weekend bus service throughout the rest of Prince George's County.
You're talking about the bus?
Yes, sir, the bus.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a very good suggestion.
County Executive Carol Terry's here from the Department of Public Works and Transportation.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure somebody from transportation got that, and we'll talk to the young man. And we're excited about Largo, too. It's a great place. If you haven't bought in Largo, go buy.
Good evening, County Executive Baker and fellow citizens. I'm Margaret Bowles from Cleary Lane in Mitchellville, and I've been a county resident for over 50 years. I'm a retired Prince George's County public school educator, and an environmental activist for issues that affect the lives of all county residents, particularly the underrepresented and underserved. Our children, our poor, our elderly, our disabled, our mentally distressed, and our recovering addicts, our homeless, and those in danger of becoming homeless. I've worked for many years trying to make this the best county that we could be, and yet there are still studies and listening sessions. I am hoping to see, before I leave this world, some significant action. I recognize these are still tight economic times, but I think you and the County Council must focus your efforts on forward-looking organizations like Envision Prince George's Transit-Oriented Development. Thank you, Reginald is on that committee with me. Human Services Coalition, like the ARC, works with them. The Department of Social Services, the Board of Education, and I would urge you to please sign the Purple Line Compact. These organizations and this document have as their mission providing safe, healthy communities, working for educational excellence, supporting families and individuals in need, maintaining existing small businesses in local areas. We need to recognize the value of all individuals and work to reinstate the law for 10 to 15% set aside for each approved development for affordable housing that was in our laws at one time. Pass a rent stabilization bill for both existing renters and businesses so that developers in their greed don't drive businesses from local shopping centers and drive long-term renters from their affordable homes. None of these wishes are impossible. They just require the will to see each of our citizens as valuable cogs in the wheel of our efforts to have a healthy economy and to develop engines of growth toward the success of our truly vibrant county. I thank you for your support of the 10-year plan to end homelessness. I have worked with DSS and seen the camps where the homeless live in the woods. This is a waste of our human resources. We need people to help them and place them in a good place where they can live. I'll give you my other comments.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate the comments.
Up next to bat is Andrea Toney, and on deck is Nancy Forsythe.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Toney, and I'm co-chair of the Adults with Developmental Disabilities Citizens Advisory Committee, a group that was created by the Maryland legislature. We're the first group of this kind in the state of Maryland. And we're asking today for your help with a number of things. First, we're asking that the county establish a project search site in the Prince George's County government and the support of other sites at federal, state, or private companies in the county. Project Search provides real workplace experiences to enhance marketable work skills for young adults with developmental disabilities. Montgomery County has a really extensive Project Search site that you'll hear more about from other people. Number 2, creation of a non-competitive hiring process for individuals with severe physical or developmental disabilities in the county government. This would be similar to the referendum that voters in Montgomery County approved in 2012. Number 3, support for a supplemental funding package from the county to pay adequate wages to DDA provider staff in light of the passage of the minimum wage bill. DDA providers in Montgomery County receive an annual supplement, as people have stated earlier. And number 4, support for strengthening the Prince George's County Individuals with Disabilities Division. It is our understanding that this division was merged with the County Aging Division recently. We want to ensure that this division has adequate funding and staffing to meet the needs of the multitude of children and adults with disabilities in Prince George's County, and that this division remains intact. And lastly, I would like to bring up another issue, sort of take off my hat as chair of the ADCAC, co-chair of the ADCAC, and as an attorney that does pro bono work in Prince George's County, I want to tell you about something that people have been contacting me about recently. A number of residents have come to me with help because they have their PB pipes installed in their yards, and those pipes are now at the point where they are beginning to fail. And as a result, homeowners are having to pay $6,000 to $10,000 out of pocket to have a new pipe installed. And what the homeowners find is, they think, well, maybe their homeowners insurance is going to pay, it won't pay. They think WSSC is going to pay, and it won't pay. And people are coming to me, and they're thinking about having to go into bankruptcy or foreclosure. This is a real problem that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Delegate Walker and I were both shaking our heads because it happened to us, so I'm sure he's going to look into that. And I know that Teresa Grant and Gloria Brown are here, so they'd love to talk to you about the other issues.
Good evening, and thank you again for hosting this listening session. My name is Nancy Forsyth. I'm here tonight as a parent of a 26-year-old guy with Down syndrome and a member of the ADCAC that Andrea just spoke about. I'd like to talk in particular about the employment of people with disabilities, and listening to some of the stories that other speakers have addressed tonight. Employment is a solution to the problems that many people face in being able to afford a decent quality of life. Just a little bit of background. Prince George's County, 7.2% of our population is classified as having a disability. That's a total of about 43,000 people. In Prince George's County, 50% of that population is not even in the labor force. To look at employment rates, we, especially for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, we have to use national data. We know that among people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, only about a third are working. When they do work, they tend to work in segregated occupations, they tend to work part-time, and they tend to work for low wages. We'd like to see the county government as an employer take some steps to begin to remedy this by offering some to be an incubator for innovative solutions. There are a lot of models around the country of how county governments are employing people with disabilities, and locally we have some good models. In Montgomery County, for example, they have packaged 4 different programs into a targeted hiring project. They have their own internship program where the county hires interns. They participate with the state in the Quest hiring internship program. They have Project Search that Andrea just mentioned, and they have the competitive hiring authority that Andrea just mentioned. They've packaged these together, hiring a special staff person who does targeted hiring, and they have a database of targeted hires which facilitate the hiring of people with disabilities in the county. I would like to see Prince George's County government do something similar. Of course, having the county employ people is an outcome, a goal in itself. But the county government sets the tone for private sector employment in this sense too. We'd like to see the county government become a role model, leading the way for private sector hiring of people with disabilities, intellectual and developmental disabilities in particular, in the county as well. And I'd appreciate the opportunity to meet with you, County Executive Baker, in order to discuss this in greater detail. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I know I saw Betty Francis back there, but I know Gloria, because you're in my eyesight. Oh, there's Betty. Betty, you're going to... Great.
Up next to bat is Joseph Sanford, and on deck is Evelyn Ducat, or how do you pronounce that? Dunkett. Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Joseph Sanford. I am 10 years old. I go to Yorktown Elementary, and I live in Bowie. I've been playing soccer for 5 years. I am here to voice support for better field conditions for youth sports. I am in favor of turf fields at all high schools in the county. Turf fields are flat, even surface, which is better than grass fields that are sometimes rocky and muddy. I am also in favor of a policy that would make park and rec fields to be sport specific. Fields should be used for one sport because of the different types of cleats that can mess up the fields. I have injured my right ankle 2 times due to bad field conditions, and I have broken my left ankle 3 times due to bad field conditions. Question, what is the status of getting new fields at Green Branch, the land behind Baysock Stadium in Bowie? Thank you, and have a good evening.
Young man, Delegate Walker didn't put you up to testifying today, did he?
What a blessing to follow a child. I met Rashawn Baker, our executive, through my sister. She campaigned for him. And he encouraged me to continue my poetry. I'm here to say I have my book. It's about 40 days old. I wrote it approximately 2 years working on it, and I like to share.
My wife's a big fan of your poetry.
Yes, sir. May this inauguration, as you have sworn in the sight of God and man, may you fight only always for the good of our land, upholding the right at all times, speaking up always for the poor and the blind, turning the right to all mankind. You must let justice ring from every hamlet, civil rights kept in the forefront of your mind's tablet. May this inauguration be all filled with each of these. My dream. I dream that the family would be free from all ill, anything that stands in the way of God's will. I dream that there will be truly a hatred for all dope, alcohol, and substance that chain the neck as a rope. I dream that we be spiritually and financially sound. There will be no pulling down. I dream that there'll be no breaking in or going out of the way. There'll be no fussing and fighting, I pray. I dream that we be perfect and complete in God. I dream that it be sought after like summa cum laude. I dream that sons of black sons will soon be as one, and daughters of black daughters will overcome. Cigarette smoking will be a shame, a thing of the past like how far we came. We'll be able to freely breathe God's air without a dose of sickness there. I dream that Africa, the place of our birth, will stop warring and be an example to our earth. I dream that husbands and wives return to their first love, be at peace, having plenty or nothing much to speak of. I dream that children will honor their parents when they can't have their way. I dream every nation prepare for a brighter day. That's a taste of my book. I have my business card. If anybody would like to buy the book, it is called Divine Destiny, Making a Difference in Poetry, the Pages of My Life's Lessons by Elise Duncan, and it's actually at exlibris.com, it's at Barnes & Noble, and it's also at amazon.com.
Thank
May
you
God
very
bless
much.
you all.
Thank you. Next up at bat is Christine Osei, and on deck is Arnie Wilson.
Good evening, Mr. Baker. Good evening, Delegate Jay Walker, and good evening, Senator Peters. My name is Christine Osei. I live in the Woodmore North community. I have a few concerns that our community has been struggling with. I live in the community. This is my 11th year. We have challenges with code enforcement. The builder turned over the community to us one night. The next day, they were gone. We've struggled for 2 years to figure out exactly what do we do. The builder negotiated his way out from building one of the last entrances in our community. 2 neighbors called me and said, Christine, they're trying to get away without building it. I went to the site plan, found the 2 monument signs. Our inspector called them, and I said, why are you trying to let them go without building it? We had to get into a fight to get the builder to come back and build the 2 monuments. We had 5 ponds in our neighborhood. They had been there for 10 years. Our code enforcement did not know we had ponds until last year. We organized a community walkthrough in the neighborhood, and that's when they found out we had 5 ponds. 1 is behind my house. In July, you cannot get out of the house because of mosquitoes. Nobody knew the ponds were there. That's how long it took us as a community to find things on our own, invite the county government to come in and walk with us, and to discover and believe what we're saying. They never knew there were ponds there for 11 years. Street trees leaning and signs that are being blown by the wind. Our community has a beautification committee that called the county 9311 and actually spoke to a lady and went to the website. It takes 12 months for them to come out. We finally hired a contractor to be able to replace all of them. One point I have to say is business retention and attraction. The Fairwood Grange Shopping Center, it's in Fairwood. Down the road, you have Marketplace, Vista Garden Marketplace. In between, you have Duval Village. Mr. Walmart wants to come in Duval Village. The 2 shopping centers in the north side are struggling. Fairwood can barely keep a restaurant open for 2 years in a row. The 2 grocery stores there are barely trying to stand up. And we have joined together with 6 neighborhoods between District 5 and 6 to say we do not want a Walmart at Duval Shopping Center. We're asking you please to help us to make sure that does not happen. We want a neighborhood shopping, but we don't want a Walmart with trucks to destroy our community. If you look at the entire neighborhood, it is all single-family detached neighborhood in a small retail center. 5 Note has said if Walmart comes in, they're going to move out. I'm going to give my right out so that I have the rest of the points that I could not speak.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Arlene Wilson, and I'm with the Camp Springs Civic Association. And actually what has happened is I came here to voice our concerns about the lewd establishments in Camp Springs on Old Branch Avenue, specifically the Hangers Club, the dancers. They call themselves the Ecstasy, and the worst is the Harley Riders, where these women come out in their little skippy outfits now that around 3 to 3:30 in the afternoon. But I have talked with, I was directed to Mr. Cunningham, and he said he will work with us on that issue. My second concern is the trash in our community. I'm giving a suggestion. We have a volume of trash in Prince George's County, and I know that Mr. Ortez from the environment probably could give you the statistics on that. But I recommend or I propose that you put cameras, especially around the ramps. The ramps that comes from Route 5, that goes to Old Branch Avenue by Kaiser Permanente, from Route 5 that goes towards Marlow Heights and to the Beltway. It is tons of trash. Even on Pennsylvania Avenue, the ramp to go to Pennsylvania Avenue off the Beltway. It is so much trash dumped there. And if you put a camera, maybe if you have to catch a few people, and a couple people get burned, they'll let everybody know throwing trash makes our community look unlivable. And we want help in getting that taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you for your suggestion.
Up next, we have Greg Garland, and on deck is Pete Millets.
All right. Good evening. My name is Greg Garland. I just want to speak on two major concerns I have with Prince George's County. This time last year, I stood in front of you at Eleanor Roosevelt High School and spoke about the excessive litter and trash. Unfortunately, I am here again and feel the situation has gotten worse. The county's highways and exit ramps, as the lady mentioned, Pennsylvania Avenue, I live at Branch Avenue, it's like ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Have excessive trash. I've called 311 several times, and they have referred me to the state highway. It is unacceptable that the county will not tackle the issue at hand. Regardless if it is a state highway or a county road, the litter needs to be dealt with. The grass gets extremely high and is hardly ever cut. Once it is cut, litter is left around for days. We cannot allow Prince George's County to become a dumping ground. If we want to attract businesses, we have to look attractive. You can't see the beauty of the county without driving through mounds of trash. The second issue I have is that we as a county need to hold developers accountable for litter and making sure our shopping centers are clean and completely leased. I've reached out to Street Sense several times about the excessive litter and trash in the Steeplechase Shopping Center. That's where the Chick-fil-A and Chipotle are at in Capitol Heights. They act as if they care, but they don't because they don't live here. Fines should be imposed on developers who do not keep their shopping centers clean of litter and trash. Code enforcement should divide the county into shopping center areas, and the inspector should take pictures of the litter and trash, send pictures to the developers, and fine them with a bill. The county should charge a fee based on square footage of the shopping centers. These fines would probably trickle down to the tenants of the shopping center. The tenants would probably demand that the developer or manager hire maintenance or litter technicians so that they would be held accountable or responsible for footing the bill. They wouldn't be held accountable or responsible for footing the bill. This would generate tax revenue for the county and send a message that we are here to do business as well as to keep our county clean. My last issue, as stated earlier, developers need to be held accountable for making sure our shopping centers are leased with good tenants, not liquor stores, carryouts, barbershops, hair salons, all that crap. And then my main concern is there should be no reason Wilmore Town Center up the street after 4 years in existence has empty storefronts. The Town Center at Laurel opens next month, and it'll probably have a higher occupancy rate than Wilmore Town Center. If tax centers were imposed to these places, the developer, Petrie Ross Ventures, should be held accountable for paying back any type of tax incentives they received to build Wilmore Town Center, and that goes for any other shopping center in the county. And that's pretty much it. And I went to elementary school with your son, Rashawn Baker, just to throw that in there. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to give us your testimony,
Oh, sure. I forgot about that.
Courtney? Thank you. And on the trash, on the especially on